Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Let's go!
All right, we're back and we're up the creek today. I'm going to go and have a little bit of a look and chase some barra, but first I'm going to throw in some of the footage from the day of the open season where Dave and I took his boat out and we went and had a little bit of a crack at some barra. We had plenty of opportunities and fair few bites there, but yeah, I'm going to throw that footage in first, and then when I come back to you, I'm going to run you through a whole bunch of the new toys I've got for this year's barra season, and yeah, pretty excited to show you guys the new combos I've got. So I'll skip back to the fishing and I'll see you again here soon. Right. I'm going to start out with this one today. This is a new one I've just got over the close season. That's a, I think his name was Shane Cahill Lures, so very similar to the old Richos. So I'm going to give that a little bit of a go. I'm going to put some Vipers on there, might have a look at some size 4s. I reckon that'll be the go. And then on the 703 I might run that little shallow pointer, so when we hit some drains we've got some got a little bit of a rattle there and a nice bright colour. The water's pretty dirty, so I reckon that's the go. All right, first up, let's see how this goes. Never been cast this combo, and it didn't get snagged, so so far so good. First time throwing this lure as well, so bit interesting, something a little bit different. Little pocket of shade there at the downstream side of that drain. Sort of going to get the edge of it. Oh, did you just see that? Did you hear the sound it made? Just steel hitting timber. All the bait there. That's where I wanted it. Oh, bite. My brand new line is going to get mud all over it. Coming in for the pirate. Nice action, this lure. Need a shallow diver in that. There's a fish there. You see the size of the prawns coming out of it? Here we go. Oh, that's better. This reel's got the ceramic bearings, the other one doesn't. Rookie. Haven't been fishing real long, alright? Oh, I could see a barra there. Did you see that one? Where did he go? He was going downstream. Oh, right on his nose. He wasn't the one I seen though. The one I seen was bigger than that. Probably wouldn't even bother pushing up here much more. There's a good barra just there. Good picture of one anyway. I've seen him on side scan too. I'm like, I'm just going to throw it over here just in case. He's not a bad fish, he's got some weight to him. Not a bad one. Starts the day. I've seen two on side scan. I'm just like, yeah. Oh. Yeah, bro. Cheers. I was like watching that and I'm like, I swear that's a fish. I'm just going to put one on there just in case. That's epic. Yeah, I'll just pull his tail out so we don't split his fins. There we go. So I don't really like these rubber nets because they make a mess of their tail and that. What would be high 60s or so. Gonna pull these hooks out because this size fish generally play right up. He's hooked proper. He's behaving nicely for us. There it is, little Cahill. Come here, mate. You're back in no time. All right, first one for the season, first one for the year even, first one on my new rod, and first one for the day. It's nothing huge, but definitely fought well. Pretty stoked with that, to be honest, even though he's a little fella. He'll be about, I don't know, pushing close to 70, maybe high 60s, but he's going back home today. We're not keeping any fish today, so we'll get him back in and happy days. Come on. There you go. Here's proper. There we go. Stoked, man. Let's get some more. Did look like there was a couple there, so I'm going to just work this deeper section. Small tides today, so I don't mind working the lure against the current when the tides are smaller like this. Hitting the bottom there a little bit, a couple of twitches up, we'll get it back up in the zone without burying too much. Oh, a bit of confidence in this lure now. All right, I'm definitely going to keep an eye on that sounder now. Jelly prawns jumping.
A tarpon, bro.
Was that a tarpon?
I don't know what it was. It hit hard, whatever it was.
I'm going to set this sounder up for optimal vision. Slight tilt this way, and I'll keep my eyes peeled. Good sized prawns, eh? Big blues, man. Oh, that's not a blue. That's a giant barra. That was just under the boat. Three meters down. Bro, I don't know if they're really big threadies or a whole school of them or what. I would say they probably are, eh? I'd say they are. Looks like it, yeah. Definitely worth putting more time in here, eh? How accessible it is. Yes! Oh! That was a good bite. I reckon they're threadies, bro. I reckon I just had one. Oh, he went to the vibe. I just fed him barra drag. Yeah. Come down. You have to, I think you have to. You're brave. Putting the electric in the mix. Not a thready. Grana? Yeah. The spikiest fish in the creek. Oh. It did look like the drains up here were a lot bigger than the ones that were along that straight we just did. I reckon the base of that looks like prime time. Featureless up here, isn't it? Thought there would be more water. What's that? It's got to be a barra. Yeah. There he goes. Damn it! He was definitely sitting on the edge of that drain. I can finally be happy to catch a barra again. Oh, big mud skipper. Get on, get out of here. Oh, bro, it'd be that cool. Just getting buffed off the surface. Spewing, I lost that one. He wasn't bad. Same as the last one, roughly. Sometimes you've got to really pepper them before they'll commit. I think that's what that one was, because I put like 3 casts in there. It's only 1.3 metres of water. We got some good drains coming up here, like you can sort of start to see them, but I can see all them ripples on the water. That's going to be shallow there, and we've got another shallow like bit to cross. Slam right up so you can put a few casts on each drain. And there's fish darting out of this drain here. Oh, there's fish all around us here. I reckon we spooked a whole bunch off that. It's tide change, that's why everything's going off. Oh man, there's midgies biting my eyelids.
Yeah.
There's fish right out there to there, all the way along that point.
Have the wrong lure on.
Yeah, you want to get something a little bit deeper. Fucking barra fishing, eh? He would have watched that lure come past like 5 times before that happened. It's alright, one bite can be enough to stir him up. Definitely punches into the wind a lot better than a lot of timbers I've used. Just gonna get that real long cast so I can get down. Oh, what's that? 4 bites, 1 fish. All right, so as you can tell, I had a few opportunities there. Didn't really get to capitalise on them, but you know, that's barra fishing. Sometimes it's you can never convert them all. So I'm pretty happy with that open of the season, considering the weather. We had some really small tides that day. That system we were fishing, I do prefer bigger tides, but that's all good. We got a fish on the boat, and I did get to christen that new rod. So I do have some new toys, like I said, that I've been playing with, and you did see one of them just there. So yeah, I'll run you through that now. This is going to be basically the what I'm running and why. So we'll start with this one. So this one's no new combo, you've seen him before. That's my little 702 in the Champion Extreme. It's a 6 to 12 pound rod, which is an extra fast taper. It does have plenty of punch down low, but generally I'm using this one for, you know, just a snag bash, and you see me use it for jacks all the time, but it's good for, like, you know, all your sort of smaller to medium sized barra up to sort of 90. I have caught it up to a 116 on this, so it is very capable rod, but it just has that super nice little light tip that I'm after when I'm chasing the smaller, or when I'm casting the smaller hard bodies. Just that tip folds away just enough to load up and give that lure some speed to get nice accurate casts and that. So yeah, that's that one there, 6 to 12 pound. I've got him spooled up with 30 pound Sunline Castaway, and yeah, basically I use that for all my really smaller small plastics, small timbers, small hard bodies, like your pointer 78 that's tied on there. And one thing you're going to notice, and I've talked about this before, I run the same handle on all my reels, same knobs, just for the main reason that I'm not going to be favouring a combo for how it feels over something that I should be throwing. So if I've got all my rods lined up on the floor of the boat, basically it doesn't matter which one I pick up, they're all the same, they all feel the same. All my gear ratios in the reels are the same, they're all a high gear reel. Generally when I'm looking to buy reels, I'm looking for that sort of 78 to sort of 84 centimeters per handle turn with a full spool. So generally I don't look at your gear ratios and such. I do look at how much line's picked up, and I'll basically try and keep a full spool all the time. So yeah, so that's my little light one, and yeah, that one's not new to the channel, you've seen him before. Awesome little combo, I love it. Second up, we've got that one there. This is basically the same rod as the last one. It's a Champion Extreme. This is the 703, so it's a 10 to 17 pound. Same sort of story with this one, just a little bit more power down low, but it does have that nice soft tip. I find it perfect for all your sort of medium, just your general barra fishing stuff. So, you know, 4 or 5 inch plastics, sort of 100 mil, 120 mil hard bodies. And the good thing with this is it has an extra fast taper. The rod recovers to its natural form after each jerk. So it's a really good jerk baiting rod with, you know, I would say it's more of a finesse kind of jerk baiting rod for your sort of 100 XD pointers and 100 mil deep divers and stuff. So when I'm twitching my lure and I'm working my lure down, I can crack the lure as hard as I can, and the rod's not slopping around and carrying on. It's straight back to its natural form, ready to work again. So yeah, that one there, I've had him before. This is actually my third of one of these rods, so I have had these on and off over the years, and definitely one of my favourite rods going. You do pay for it with the Champion Extreme, but that's, you know, you get what you pay for with this sort of stuff. So super powerful, super fast taper, and plenty of power. So what I do really like about these is, like I said before, is the soft tip on there. Basically, as you probably know, barra implosion feeders, they'll suck a lure in. So you'll see me all the time when I'm fishing for barra, I fish with the rod tip at a 90-degree angle to my line most of the time, and that is basically so when a barra bites and he sucks the lure in, and as the lure gets sucked in, that tip folds away. It might only be 4 inches, but that's enough to let the fish have the lure, resulting in a better hookup rate. So if you're running too fast of a tip, you know, there's no give there. So when the barra sucks on and they bite it, you know, generally, you know, if you're running a softer tip rod, it's going to allow the fish to suck the lure in and going to give you a better hookup rate, basically. So a lot of the rods that I'm running do have the softer sort of tip, and I do match the tip to the lure. So when I pick up a different rod in the boat, each rod has its purpose, and like I said, I'm running the same setup on all of them. This is a 200 size in the Conquest, and that's, yeah, 200 HG with 104 mil studio composite. The handle's an RCDC plus if anyone's looking for them. Good luck finding them because they're very hard to come across, and I've got the same 5 that I've had for the last few years now. So yeah, but that combo is pretty awesome. I've got PE 2.5 Sunline Castaway on there. That's 40 pound. I know people think that that's overkill for your barra and stuff, but this is very similar to like 25, maybe 30 pound in a lot of other brands. So it is 40 pounds. So if I do get snagged or if I do get a bigger fish, I just have that little bit more insurance, you know, so there's less chance of me busting off and losing the lures. So, you know, that one there is probably my favorite all-rounder. Yeah, like I said, all your jerk baits and stuff, it'll throw a shallow diver, top water, plastics. It's a very, very universal rod, and like I said, it's one of my favorites. But you'll see that one a whole lot, and you just saw it before. That was the first trip I ever took it out on, and first fish I got on it. So it's already got a little bit of mojo going. All right, so next up I've got this one here. That's a 704, just in your Champion XP. So it's a little bit slightly slower taper. It's still an extra fast taper, but I would consider the Champion Extreme to be like an extra fast taper, but this one is an extra fast. So basically what that is, it is a little bit softer in the tip, so it's really hard for me to show you what I mean just by bending the rod, but as you can probably see, it just loads up that little bit slower in the tip section, but then it comes into real extreme sort of power. So that's a 10 to 20 pound rod. Generally I'll use that for, most of the time I've got either a plastic or a medium diving hard body on that, as I've got there with the little Nomad Sticks minnow, but this is 10 to 20 pound, and yeah, awesome tip for the barra stuff, and it's a very versatile rod. So it's a very similar rod to the 703 Champion Extreme. It's just a little bit softer in the tip and a little bit more forgiving. So once again, 200 HG Conquest and PE 2.5 Castaway. I do run everything quite uniform across it. So it's only the little 702 that I run the 30 pound, which is a PE 2 in the Castaway, but PE 2.5 on all my other stuff. Like I said before, it just, you know, when I'm changing between combos, all I'm doing is changing the tip and changing the power just to suit the lures. So if I want to change throughout the day, everything feels the same. Everything's not just, they're all just as nice as each other to use. And I'm not favouring a rod that potentially I shouldn't be throwing on that day, you know, just because it feels nicer. So they all feel awesome. And yeah, that's it there, 704. And yeah, you'll see that one all the time. You've seen it before. We've got some good fish on that. Even that, I've got about, I think it was a 110 I got on that on the videos. So yeah, that's an awesome little rod. If you're chasing a all-rounder, but your budget isn't as stretched as the Champion Extreme. So, and now we're getting up into the heavier sort of stuff. So this one here, Dobbins Sierra 705, that's a 12 to 25 pound rod. So once again, for its cast weight and everything, it is a little bit faster in the tip, but I've gone down a model. So what that gives me is a more progressive taper through the blank as it loads up. And I still have that little bit of tip forgiveness to help me with converting the bites and stuff. But yeah, it is a bit heavier. So I generally use that for like bigger plastics, 5 to 7 inch and that sort of thing. And then even sort of bigger timber hard bodies. But that's an awesome little combo. I've got him with a DC Conquest 200 HG. Once again, 104mm handle and P 2.5 in the Sunline Castaway. So you'll see me mostly use this like when I'm schooled up, when I'm sitting on schooled up bigger schools of barra. And I'm slow rolling a plastic or a big timber through it or something like that. But yeah, it doesn't come out all the time, but when it comes out, there's generally big fish out to play. So that's in there, 705C in the Sierra. And then last up, we got this one here, brand new rod from Dobbins, that's the Caden. So once again, it's a 5 power, so 715, so it's 7'1". It's a little bit longer than the rest of the rods, 1 inch. I do notice it, but it doesn't seem to cause me too many dramas just to be in that little bit longer. But yeah, basically this is a really high modulus blank. So same price point as the Sierra, but it does have a lot nicer blank. The blank is a lot crisper, recovers a lot quicker, and it has that nice progressive bend right through it. So, I do like a rod that folds all the way through, because, a rod that's only loaded in the tip doesn't give you a lot of forgiveness when a barra gets up and gets his head shaken, and then real violent head shakes generally throw the lure. But if you've got a nice cushioning rod tip, that's going to cushion a whole bunch of that shaking, and you won't get that violent, short, sharp, slack line in between each head shake, and less chance of pulling hooks. So that's the 715 Caden. I'm going to be running that for mostly like 7 to 9 inch plastics. If I'm going to be up the dam and I'm going to fish like a Mollix 140 shad or something like that, something that's a little bit heavier, and I need that heavier tip to cast it, then this is the rod I'm going to use. And I'm also going to use this in the salt when I'm fishing like a proper 150mm deep diver, like a really big timber lure. Once again, this rod recovers to its natural form really fast. So if I'm cracking a lure hard and trying to work it hard and to get that directional change with the jerk bait, this rod's going to recover real quick, and I'm going to be snapping back and hitting it off a straight rod every time, which gives you a lot nicer directional change. So yeah, once again, like I said, it's a higher modulus blank than the Sierra, but you do sacrifice non-Fuji guides. But in saying that, I've never had a problem with these ones from Dobbins. So yeah, that's once again 200 HG Conquest with 104mm handle and P 2.5 Castaway. So basically that's the run through of the rods that I'm going to run for the year. I might chop and change a little bit, but just for the meantime, I think as a general sort of thing, this is going to be, the quiver that I'm going to be carrying on the boat when I'm chasing barra. So. All right, another thing that's super important that a lot of people always sort of overlook when it comes to barra fishing is your leader choice. So those two there are the ones that I prefer to use. Basically, I'll use the nylon stuff for all my top water and suspending jerk baits and stuff that, my Japanese sort of style lures that are very susceptible to, as soon as you're putting barra hooks on them, they'll start to sink and that. So generally a thicker leader like this 100 pound here, a lot of people think 100's overkill for barra, but this one's only 0.91 or 0.81 of a millimeter. So it's very thin for its breaking strain, but also it's, the nylon stuff is going to float, or it's going to resist sinking. So if I do have my lure weighted up just on the cusp of, of what it can handle, instead of it just sinking and plummeting like a rock, a nice long length of this leader, and generally I'll run a full rod length, so a good 2 meters, 2.1, 2.3, so it comes right down into onto my line guide on my bait casters, basically. So it's not wound onto the spool, but it's just outside the reel. That's a perfect length in my eyes. And one of the things, and I've shown you this before, that I love about this stuff is its stretchiness. So 30% stretch in this, you pull out a meter, you're going to get 30 centimeters of stretch, and you can do that by hand, and you can feel it while you're looking at it in the store. But generally for all your top water and your barra stuff, that's the nylon stuff. That's what I use. It's in a lot of your good retailers, so check it out next time you're looking for leader. Now, when it comes to fishing like timbers and that fluorocarbon, you can't go past fluorocarbon. For years and years, I've hated fluorocarbon just for its lack of stretch. This stuff has about 20% stretch. So you pull out a meter and you're going to get 20 centimeters before, you know, it starts to want to spring back. And that does help when you're trying to put a lot of pressure on a fish. As the leader loads up, and it's going to want to try and contract, which assists to turn the fish's head and control the fight. So that's the reason why I haven't run a lot of fluorocarbon in the past, but this is a new one from Sunline, and with that little bit of extra stretch, I'm back on the board with the fluorocarbon stuff. So basically I'll run that on a timber lure, and that basically, because they're a floating lure, it's going to want to try and float back up. This is going to help hold it down in the zone and whatnot. So I use this for all my plastics, vibes, and timbers and stuff like that. So brand new product by Sunline, so keep an eye out for that when you're in the store. All right, so that's me. I'm getting chewed alive by mozzies and midgies right now, so I'm going to get out of this creek. But basically, that's my barra stuff for the for what I'm going to be running for this year. That's all the combos and that. If you like this video with all the tech sort of talk, I guess you'd call it, I'm going to chuck a link in the description. There's a whole bunch of lure talk and stuff which I did, which is similar to this video, where I've run through all my tackle box and my lures and whatnot. So there is a bit of fishing at the start, but all the tackle talk's at the end. So I'm going to leave the link for that down in the description. But yeah, so that's it for now anyway. I know you love the creek videos, and I am trying to get more done for you, but I have had a bit of offshore stuff I've had to get done recently, as you would have seen. But I'm looking forward to getting back into the creeks, so stay tuned for that. Anyway, thanks for watching. While you're here, if you haven't already done it, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Peace.